to make this pillow comfy, but instead of comfy, it's quite annoying. Much better. Need to be close to Miller a little. Oh, Miller? So, I want you to meet our pet, Miller. Miller is a little bunny. I'm a rabbit, not a bunny, because you're 9, and 9 years old mean a child, and a kid bunny is called a kid rabbit is called a bunny. Oh, first she doesn't really look like this, but then after I saw her, feeling like I wanted to get her as a pet. So I asked my dad to get her. At first, she looked quite dirty and old and unfancy. What? You don't like my green sweater? Then change it for me. No, I don't mean that. I mean, your face is quite old and dirty. Is it I'm cute? You're just a cutie pie with a makeup. Oh. Yes, she wear makeup. Look at those blushes. And this is not really a pain spot. I just wanted to use a bandage to cover a dirty spot. And I also pretend to make it hurt spot for her too. So it would look more like blood. Blood? I got blood! Ah! I remember my blood and meat is made from these cottons. Yes, I know, but you got a real hurtness. It was this biggie rib. That rib has been taken out a lot of stuffings. I mean cottons. So I used all the fingers from this glove that I cut out to make this glove. When I stuff in here. When I just get out some of them, so I need to less some of them. Then I think sewing will be good, dear, but it takes a lot of time. So I use this rubber band instead. And then to make no one think this is a rib, I use a bow to decorate it. So it's really cute, isn't it? I see you got a cute little green sweater. It's got an England symbol. And then I see you want a little friend. So I made for you this cutie giraffe. It's from here. I just wear one of them because my animation and my drawing is much more different. So I want to be quite the same, the hands to be the same. So I take one out and I use that one for crafting. I mean to help this Miller. Her name Miller. And I also take my old socks that I just wear a few days. Then after one laundry, it turned mini size. Now my feet is double. It's even bigger than that sock. And I got nothing to do with it. I think my little sister would like it, but she wears it, but she not wear it. Then I cut it. When I see it is spring, but it's really cold, I still wear socks. So I cut my teeny mini socks for her. And she look really adorable, right? But one thing is she don't got a pants. Don't show my butt up. Are you wearing a dress or something? Of course. But it's still cute. This furry bunny is still my pet. Adorable. Hey, you covering my face. Okay, here it is. Okay, get back to your beddy. Here is her bed, just beside my comfy pillow. And today is not about meeting Miller. I just introduced you our new pet in the fantasy team, or F.T. That's for short. And today we're reading this book name is Boss of Lunch. Boss of Lunch? That means this girl is a Junie B. Jones is a lunch lady? What? I never seen a first grader doing a lunch lady because she has been go to the first grader, but I love this book so much that I wanted to read for you this book first, not the first grader at least. At last first. Because I wanted for you to see this book with me, so I read it, okay? So let's go. It still got 9, but I try to fix it up. So to make it equal. Chapter 1, Not Normal. Thursday, dear first grade journal. Hooray, hooray! It came. It finally came. Yesterday the delivery man brought it right to my house. And today I carried it to school for the very first time. What is it? Right now, sitting under my desk, I keep sneaking down there to see it closer, but my teacher said to please stop doing that. Only guess what? He's not even watching me right now. So I think I'll sneak down there one more time and that will be it. Possibly. I wish myself good luck. From Junie B., first grader. I've put down my pencil and look around. Everyone was still writing in their journals. I smile very sneaky. I bent over my chair real slow and reached way down. I lift up the lid of the brand new shiny lunchbox! Hollered out May. Junie B just opened her lunchbox again, Mr. Scary. And you told her not to do that anymore, remember? May is a tattletale girl who sits next to me. I do not actually care for her. My heart pounded very hard. I bent over even more, and I hit my head so my teacher could see me. Only I didn't do a good job of hiding, I guess. Because just then, I heard Mr. Scary Shoes walking toward me. Junie B, why's your lunchbox open again? Said Mr. Scary. Didn't I just speak to you just a few minutes ago? I kept my head down and I looked at the floor. One of Mr. Scary's shoes started tapping at me. Tappy shoes are not happy shoes, I think. Junie B, said Mr. Scary again. You have a good reason for opening your lunchbox again? I quick closed my eyes and tried to think a good reason. Mr. Scary's shoe tapped louder. I opened my eyes, peek at it, and then, bingo! All of a sudden, a miracle happened. One of my eyes saw a napkin in the corner of my lunchbox. A bright idea popped into my bed. I quick grabbed my napkin and start shining Mr. Scary's shoes. Look, Mr. Scary. Look, here's my good reason. I said, see me, huh? I'm shining your shoes with my napkin. See? I shine and shine. This is the smartest reason I ever came up with. I'm very proud. I smiled up at him. Would you like some spit on my napkin? I asked real nice. A little spit would make shoes extra gleamy. Mr. Scary just quick pulled his shoe away. No, Junie B, no spit. Please, just sit up, he said. I sat up. Mr. Scary stared and stared at me. I wiggled in my seat very uncomfortable. 'cause daring teachers make me squirmy, of course. Finally, Mr. Scary talked again. I want you to stay out of your lunchbox, Junie B, he said. We have a rule in room 1. Lunchboxes are to be opened only in the cafeteria. I did a sad sign. Yes, I said. I know the rule, Mr. Scary, but I waited a real long time to get this lunchbox. And yesterday it finally came to my house. So today is my first day not carrying a plain brown sack to school. And so every time I look at that new lunchbox, I feel happy inside. I pick up to show him. See how cute it is? My mother ordered it from a nature store. Had pictures of baby birds on it. See all of them? I pointed. This one is my favorite. I said. It is called an owlet. Owlet is the name for baby owl. My grandpa Frank Miller told me that. So here's the picture. You see it? I pointed at a different bird. This one is an eaglet, I said. An eaglet is a baby eagle. After that, I held my lunchbox way high in the air, so all of room one could see it. See our birdlets, children? We're owlets and eaglets and ducklets and chicklets. I explained. I put my lunchbox on my desk. Then I took out the vermis. And see this vermis, people? This vermis has a picture of bird nest on it. Isn't that cute? May made a face. Ick, she said. Who want to drink out of stinky pooey bird nest? I made a face at her. I do. That's who, May, I said. I love drinking out of stinky pooey bird's nest. May reached into her desk and pulled out a lunch ticket. Well, I buy my lunch, Junie Jones, she said. Bought lunches are much better than brought lunches. Bought lunches don't sit around all morning and get soggy. I crossed my arm at that girl. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of, May. I said right back. Brought lunches are way better than bought lunches. 'Cause brought lunches are made special by our very own mothers. Mr. Scary said a frown. Okay, girls. That's enough, he said. But May kept on arguing with me. For information, Junie B. Jones, mother not professional lunch makers, she said. Martyrs just plain old normal people. I stamped my foot at her. 'Cause that was my final straw. Do not call my mother normal, May, I hollered. No one in my whole entire family is normal, so there. May started to laugh. Then some of the other children laughed too. I do not know why. Finally, Mr. Scary snapped his fingers at them. I put my lunchbox back on the floor. It was not my best morning. Chapter 2. Hoagies. Hoagies? The lunch bell rang at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is around noonish, I believe. I picked up my lunchbox and ran to the door, then lined up with my friends and waited to go. It's almost time, I told them, very thrilled. It's almost time for me to eat out of my brand new lunchbox. I'd held up for them to see again. Which baby bird do you guys like the best? I asked. Pick one, okay? My friend named Josiah looked at the birds and shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. I guess maybe I like the duck best, he said. Ducks can be funny sometimes. One time when we were having a picnic on the lake, A duck chases my sister and stole her ho-ho. My friends Leanie and Herb laughed real hard. They looked at my lunchbox too. I think I like the owlets the best, said Herb. Me too, said Leanie. I saw a TV show on owls once. And an owl swallowed a giant rat in just one bite. He didn't even chew or anything. After that, I stared at Leanie a real long time. 'Cause that disgusting story I just ruined my owlet, that's why. Finally, all of room 1 walked to the cafeteria together. The cafeteria is a big room where we eat lunch. It smells and noises and tables in it. Room 1 sit near the window. I zoomed very speedy quick. Come her, I called. Come, Leanie and Jose. It's time for you to watch me eat out of my new lunchbox. I turned around to wait for them. Only too bad for me, 'cause none of those guys were even coming. Instead, we're standing in the stupid, dumb lunch line. My mouth fell open at the sight. Herb, hey Herb, I called. What do you think you're doing? Are you coming to eat with me? Herb shouted back. I'm buying lunch today, Junie B. Jose shouted too. Hoagies! We're having hoagies! Hollered Leanie. Have us a seat. My shoulders lumped. Real disappointed, 'cause I was actually expecting this development. I sat at my table and looked all around. There was only one other person sitting here. His name is Sheldon. I do not know him that good. Sheldon waved his fingers at me. We're the only one here, he said. We're only one who didn't buy hoagies today. I did a sign. Yes, Sheldon, I know that, I said. Sheldon slid across from me. Hoagies are very popular, but I'm not allowed to eat them, he said. I'm allergic to fake meat and cheese. What if hoagies got real meat and cheese? I don't know. I looked at Sheldon closer. His nose was running very much. Please wipe your nose, I said. Sheldon didn't pay attention to me. I'm only allowed to eat food that comes from nature, he said. His nose ran even more. Also, I'm allergic to dairy, he told me. I handed him my napkin. Blow, and I mean it, I said. Sheldon did not blow. I slid to the end of the table. Pretty soon, my friends start coming out of the kitchen. The other children start coming too. They sat down and took big bites of their hoagies. Said Herb. This hoagie is delicious. See, said Jose. My delicioso. Leanie nodded. Then he opened up his hoagie roll and looked inside. I think even you would like his hoagie, Junie B, he said. Look, it has ham and salami and cheese and lettuce and tomato. Just then, May butted her big head in. It's good for you too, Junie Jones, she said. All school lunches have to be delicious and nutritious. It's a law. So, I said. So lunches brought from home can be any old thing, she said back. I did a huffy breath at her. Then I turned back and I hid my sandwich very secret. When I peeked inside the bread, I stared and stared for a long time, but I didn't actually recognize the meat, that's why. Finally, I ate it anyway. It was tasty, whatever it was. Chapter 3. Cookies. I was the first one done with my lunch, because eating hoagies take forever, of course. I put my lunchbox away and looked at Herb's plate. He had 3 more food to go. First, he had carrot sticks. Also, he had applesauce and a cookie. I leaned in closer. I think that's sugar cookie, Herbert, I said. Sugar cookies are my favorite. Herb nodded. Me too. I like sugar cookies too. I touched his cookie with my finger. Yes, sure, Bob. That is sugar cookie, all right, Herb, I said. I didn't get a cookie at all today. My mother packed me a fruit bar instead. Oh, said Herb. Well, fruit bars are good too. I tapped my fingers on the table, 'cause Herb didn't even get my hint. Yes, Herbert, I know fruit bars are good. I said, but I really want a cookie today, so I wish that you would just share that thing with me, and that's all. Why didn't you say so? He said. Then he broke his cookie into 2, and he handed me half. I gushed real happy. Oh, thank you, Herb, thank you, I said. After that, I stuffed my cookie right into my mouth, and I drank a sip of Herb's milk. Yum! That tastes just like the cookies that Mr. Gutsman used to bring to afternoon kindergarten, I said. I smiled at thought of that woman. Gladys Gutsman was our snack lady last year, I explained to her. She used to bring us cookies and milk every week. I made my voice kind of secret. Only guess what, Herbert? Sometime Mr. Gutsman gave me 2 cookies instead of 1, I said, 'cause I was her favorite person in room 9, I think. Joseph heard what I said. Hey, that must mean that I was her favorite in room 8, he said, because sometimes Mr. Gutsman gave me an extra one too. After that, me and Jose did a high five, because both of us were favorites, apparently. That woman was a gem, I tell you, I said. What do you mean she was a gem, Junie? B, said Jose. She still is a gem. Okay, I'm going to check. I'm scared that the camera might off. Mr. Gutsman still work here, you know. What? I said, very surprised. Sure she does, said Herb. I met Mr. Gutsman this year already. He worked right there in the kitchen. I couldn't believe my ears. Really? I said. Really? Because if Mr. Gutsman still works at our school, how come she hasn't brought us milk and cookies this year? Herb shrugged. I don't know, he said, but she still works here, right? In fact, we just saw her just now when we were getting our hoagies. I put my hand over my mouth, 'cause that news was too good to be true. Jose laughed. If you don't believe us, go see for yourself, he said. I will, Jose. I will go see for myself, I said, really joyful. When I jumped right out of my seat, I zoomed into the kitchen and hollered for Mr. Gutsman. Chapter 4. Gladys. Good Mr. Gutsman, Gladys Gutsman, where are you? I hollered. It's me, it's Junie B. Jones. I looked all around me. There was a long counter with children pushing trays. Does anyone see Mr. Gutsman? I asked the children. Does anyone know her? My friend said she's right here in this kitchen, but I don't even see her. I hollered her name even louder. Mr. Gutsman! Mr. Gladys Gutsman! when all of a sudden the lady come hurrying around the corner. And good news! It was her. It was Mr. Gladys Scotsman, and ran her and hugged her very tight. Mr. Scotsman, Mr. Scotsman, I'm so glad to see you, I said. Mr. Scotsman hugged me back. Junie B. Jones, I'm glad to see you too, she said. I smiled up at her. She was wearing her same big white apron from last year. Whoa, just look like you, Mr. Scotsman. You didn't change a bit. I patted her apron. You didn't even change your clothes, apparently, I said. Mr. Scotsman laughed. She was wearing plastic mitts on her head. Plus also, he was wearing a hairnet. Hey, I remember those things from last year, I said. You told me that you wear plastic mitts and a hairnet whenever you touch food. Remember? You said that called good hygiene, 'cause mitts and a hairnet protect our food from dirty germs and hairs. Mr. Scotsman made a face. Are you sure that's the way I put it? She asked. I skipped around her in a circle. Hey, Mr. Scotsman, now that you found me, you can start bringing cookies to my room again. I held up one finger. I'm in room 1 this year, I said. Room 1's come earlier in the alphabet than room 9. And so now that you know where I am, when can you bring the cookies, Gladys? Mr. Scotsman did a chuckle, but she leaned down next to me and she patted my arm. And she said, don't call her Gladys. After that, Mr. Scotsman explained all about snacks. She said that first graders don't get snacks like kindergarten kids do, on account of first graders get cookies with their school lunches. I did a frown at that news. Yeah. Only what about the children who bring their lunches, Mr. Scotsman? Where cookies, huh? 'Cause today everybody got a cookie except for me and Sheldon. Mr. Scotsman didn't answer my question. Instead, she raised her head and looked behind me. What? That's when I heard my teacher's voice. Junie B. Jones, he said, kind of loudish. Exactly what do you think you're doing? I spun around. Mr. Scary's eyes looked annoyed at me. Why did you get up from the table, Junie B? That's the story here. Everyone was staring. I did a big gulp. Then I squeezed my eyes closed real tight. I tried to think of a story here. Well, let's see, I said. First I was eating my brought lunch and everyone else was eating their bought lunch. And so that's how come I was the first one finished, and then I was just sitting here and spotted Herb's sugar cookie, and I really wanted that thing. And good news, Herb shared. And so then that delicious cookie reminded me about Mr. Scotsman. And what do you know now? Herb and Jose said the king was annoying was sprouted up. She was frightened here in this exact kitchen, so I jumped up from the table and ran to say hello, I said. After that, I looked up at Mr. Scotsman, kind of nervous, and I waved my fingers. Hello, I said real soft. Hello, she said back. Mr. Scary shook his head. No, I'm sorry, Junie B. I know Mr. Scotsman had enjoyed seeing you, but you can't just get up from a table and run whenever you please during lunch, he said. Mr. Scotsman nodded. Mr. Scary is right, Junie B, she said. I'm very happy to see you, but you have to learn to follow school rules. I did a sign. Yeah, only I really wanted to find you, Mr. Scotsman, I said, 'cause I miss you very much. Mr. Scotsman tapped on her chin. she said. Maybe I have an idea. If you promise to follow the rules, you can come back tomorrow and help me in the kitchen. Would you like that, do you think? Ah, it starts to be on the title, Boss of Lunch. Cool. My eyes got big and wider. Are you kidding, Mr. Gutsman? I said. Is this some kind of joke? She smiled again. Nope, she said. It's no joke. We let children help us in the kitchen quite often. If it's okay if your teacher, I give you a permission slip to take home to your parents. I pulled on Mr. Scary's arm. Say it's okay? Okay? Please, 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 I begged. Mr. Scary didn't answer right away. Instead, he ran his fingers through his hair, and he fought and fought. And finally he said it. Mr. Scary said it's okay. I clapped and danced and twirled. I can do it, Mr. Gutsman, I said. I can come and help you in the kitchen. Excellent, said Mr. Gutsman. When she reached behind the counter, and she handed me a permission slip. And that is not all, because she reached back there one more time, and she pulled out a pair of brand new plastic mitts. Ooh. Here, she said, these are for you. You can wear them around your house tonight and get used to them. I did the gaps of those wonderful things. Thank you, Mr. Gutsman. Thank you, I said. I've always wanted some of these thingamajigs. What is that? After that, I put them on my hands very thrilled and waved goodbye to Mr. Gutsman. See you, I said. See you tomorrow. When I walked back to my lunch table with Mr. Scary and followed her rules for the rest of the day. The end. It's just the end of chapter 1 where loads more. Wait, not really chapter 1. End of 4 chapters. So, okay guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye guys. I know it is more than half an hour little, but bye-bye.